welcome once again to Real Shame, a show where the two of us talk about our list of movie blind spots. But this week we're coming at you with something special. We're doing all shark-themed movies this week. That's right. Adam is humming the theme to Jaws, or the scary part where Jaws is going to attack somebody. By the way, that's Adam, and my name is Andy. And today we are going to talk to you about a really recent shark film. This one is from 2020.
That's right.
2020. That's right. It's just a year old. And that movie is
called Ouija Shark. You pronounce it Ouija?
Ouija, not Ouija. It's not Ouija.
Ouija Shark.
It's not like squeegee. It's Ouija.
All right. Jill is out hanging out on the lake or whatever, and she comes across some mystical Ouija board. And with a couple of her friends, they happen to summon a Ouija shark.
Well, there's something you don't see every day. What do you want to hit? Here, Sharky, Sharky, Sharky. This is some good shit. Whoa. Personal space, dude. Want to hit? That is so cool.
So this movie is an interesting premise, but not the first one that we're watching with a corporeal shark in it. Seems like corporeal sharks might be the new thing, because we got avalanche sharks, we got ghost sharks, and we have Ouija sharks.
Yeah.
This one's a short movie.
Very short.
Barely an hour. It's barely at an hour.
It's an hour and 11 minutes, right?
Yeah.
And like 10 minutes of that is opening and closing credits.
Yeah.
So yeah,
they were definitely padding
not
out.
much. So this movie does not take much commitment.
So what'd you since I entered it, what'd you think about Ouija Shark? What'd you expect, and what'd you think about the movie?
That is a loaded question. I expected very little, because I want to say, did we throw on the trailer for this before we watched the movie? I think we did.
I think we did.
I think we were like, and again, normally we like to know as little as possible generally about movies that we watch for the show, but all bets are off this week, so we didn't really care.
Yeah.
So we're like, let's kind of get a little bite-sized preview of what we're about to see with Ouija Shark. So I think based on the trailer itself, we both were just like, oh shit, like this looks really cheaply made. And according to the IMDb trivia, it costs how much?
$300.
300 Canadian dollars, right? Because it's the Canadian movie. They have like Canadian license plates in the film, prominently displayed in a car wash scene, which has nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
It does not, but hey, we needed it.
We did. So the movie's like basically an hour if you take away the opening and closing credits. It's basically like an hour long.
It's pretty close.
It is a Ouija shark. I think most of the $300 was spent on the shark effects.
That's what
itself.
I read on
and
IMDb.
it's just like a puppet. We can.
It looks like
on that,
one of those
right?
sharks on a stick things.
Yeah, it's right. I mean, it's just it just looks really cheap. But there's so many things about this movie that were like simultaneously terrible but also hilarious, I think.
Yeah.
First of all, I think we got to mention the fact that, again, even at clocking in at maybe an hour long, it feels like most of this movie is just filler, padding, because almost everything in the movie is done in real time.
Yeah.
So if you have two characters that need to walk from point A to point B, you're never going to get a cut there. You're going to see those characters walk from this side of the screen slowly, all the way over to this side of the screen in real time. So that might take 30 seconds of the movie or a minute or whatever. Maybe no dialogue at all, right?
Hey,
you're just bored.
When you gotta get feature length, you gotta do what you do.
But it's not even feature length. I mean, really, it's like a short film, barely a short film. But yeah, so it's most of it is done in real time. It feels very much like, hey Adam, let's just get a camera and make a film with our friends, right? Like let's just be silly and make. It's like I mean, it looks professional in the sense that it's not just like a home video camera or whatever. But of course, home video cameras now are pretty good.
I think it looks better than Sharknado.
But, well, I mean, without all, it doesn't have all the processing and all of that post effects and stuff. But, it feels like people got their friends, whoever directed this, we didn't write any of these people's names down. He got his friends, I know it's a he got his friends and said, hey, let's make this movie. Like the first 10 minutes, the girl goes out and is like swimming and is like,
For
did
some
I
reason,
hear
yeah,
something?
Yeah.
What is that? And then she stumbles on, it's actually just a sign.
Yeah,
because
it's
you
like
can
a Ouija
see the
board
back
sign.
of it has like the thing to where you can hang it.
Yeah.
So they took somebody's Ouija board, probably from somebody's house that they had, and they're like, let's use this in our movie. So they do that. You've got scenes
Some
like
Halloween prop you hang up for like
right.
You get it like at home, not at Michael's or whatever.
Right. And then you've got all these scenes that are just kind of thrown together, like a car wash scene that has bonus slow motion in it.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie needs enough filler.
And you have all these random girls like hanging out by the pool and like in bikinis and stuff, like trying to pull a little bit from Avalanche Shark and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You say all that stuff, but some of that's endearing to me,
Yeah.
especially given the budget.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
who knows how accurate that budget is?
Yeah.
But you can tell it's done on the cheap. But even like with the overlong shots and just like the chintzy dialogue and stuff, I mean, there's still some like really cool and really shocking things that kind of happen in this movie. Especially at the end. I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah,
but
we can't spoil it.
But there's it goes places, and that's cool. I think that's really awesome.
Yeah.
And he does some interesting shots. Like we get the Tarantino from the trunk shot, kind of stuff like that. They're actually like, it's thought, parts of it are thought out, right? So
yeah,
I dig that aspect of it. So for me, like giving like the budget and all that kind of stuff, I found it like kind of endearing and stuff. And there was some fun parts with
I don't disagree.
There's some fun parts with the ghost shark or whatever though.
Yeah, they drop a few F-bombs, so it's a rated R, I guess. I didn't check.
I think it's like unrated or whatever.
Unrated, rated R, unrated. But yeah, they drop a few F-bombs. There's no nudity or anything like that, and there's no real gore to speak of. Sometimes when the shark kills people, blood splatters. Sometimes they just poof disappear.
Yeah.
They're not very consistent in that. But no, I thought this movie. I mean, I agree with you, actually. Because it reminds me of the kind of movie that, I mean, if I was a teenager now and I had like a cool camera that could shoot something that looked fairly professional, I would try and make probably a movie like this.
I would, if I made this movie, I would show it to everyone.
Yeah.
I would edit it down to 30 or 45 minutes.
Yeah, I would too. But no, I agree.
I would be like, I made this, and I would be proud of it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It is endearing, even though honestly not much happens in this movie because again a lot of it is just real time watching people go to the grocery store or come back from the grocery store or walk through the park or whatever. It gets bonus points for there is a scene where a guy and a girl go to like a park area, so like a covered area in a park, like with picnic tables basically, and they're both eating like crackers. And the girl takes a bite of a cracker and a crumb falls into her top.
They're like bikini top.
They didn't do that scene over. They just left that in. I was like, hey, look,
they Clint Eastwood that scene.
They were like, all right, that's it. One take, that's good. But yeah, the movie does go places that you don't expect, particularly with the girl's dad. Not going to spoil what happens there, but the girl's dad, that shit was crazy.
And then there's like the Avengers style kind of scene at the end too.
Yes, yeah.
So that's fun.
There's enough in it, and it's only an hour and 11 minutes. Especially, you can fast forward through the credits if you like. And it has this band that does a lot of music.
Dude, this is the best thing. Goat.
The band is called Goat. They're the greatest of all time, apparently.
Yeah, greatest of all time, and they have a great song over the end credits. It's really, it's so cheesy. It's so fun, but it just adds to the greatness that is this movie.
And if you want to know who's in the movie, good news, because you get their names listed twice in the end credits. First, it shows them like from a scene from the movie with their name, and then it also shows their credits when the credits just scroll. So you can jot those down if you need those people to act in your film.
And apparently we didn't do any of that to talk about on the podcast.
No, we didn't. But no, I mean, yeah, I agree. I did not hate this movie despite the fact that I did criticize all the real-time stuff and everything. I do because it reminds me of like a movie we might make or something just being silly. I did also find it. I think endearing is the perfect term for that. I agree. So 44% audience score. I'll say that. No critic score. What would you give this movie?
So we're rating them
scale?
on bomb to fin. Bomb to 4 fins.
Yes.
I'm giving it 4 fins.
Woo!
I mean, this is no Jaws, right? I mean,
Yeah.
we all know that these are bad, campy movies.
Yeah.
But this one was fun. I mean, it
Yeah.
started out kind of like we were both looking at each other like, what did we get ourselves into? Like, this one's really bad. But then as the movie kind of moved along a little bit, it started endearing us and we started warming up to it. So like I said, 4 fins.
Man. I'm not that high. I do find it endearing, and it was better than I expected. But I'm gonna actually just give it 2.5.
What, really?
Yeah. I had more fun with Santa Jaws.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
I had more fun with this than Santa Jaws.
No, I had more fun with Santa Jaws.
All right. Well, there we go.
Yeah. But I mean, 2.5's not bad.
No,
it's kind of in the middle.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the. It was and just enough. I mean, it's better than Bob.
Sure.
2.5 fins for me.
4 for me.
All right.
All right, guys. Well, that's it with our another shark one in the books, in the tanks for you guys. Like and subscribe and share this show with your friends, family, foes. If you have some spirit you called through a Ouija board, share this with them. Just
Skook them.
Type out the URL. Using the what's the thing called, the planchette or whatever.
Yeah, and we didn't even mention. Sorry, we didn't even mention. At one point, she uses like a gun.
Yeah,
as a planchette.
Hey,
so it has that going.
As long as it has a hole in it, it's good, right?
Has that going for it, right?
And I don't. And she's doing it by herself too, which I'm like, I think
that
you
doesn't
always
really
need
work
more.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
So spell out the URL to this video on your planchette, your Ouija board to that spirit. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. And thank you for watching. We'll see you soon, guys. Bye.